In the beginning of the story, we see a man named Rick who has been in the hospital for who knows how long. Today, when he opened his eyes, he saw that there was no one around him. Not only that, but there was not even the slightest sound coming from outside. When he went out to check, he found that there was no one in the entire hospital, and the whole place was completely destroyed and in ruins, as if something had attacked it. As Rick moved a little further, he saw a dead body that had been eaten in a very horrible way. Seeing this, Rick got scared and quickly ran out of there. Outside, he saw hundreds of corpses lying around like a pile of garbage. After that, Rick set off to go to his home. He took a bicycle to move forward, but his eyes fell on a zombie whose body was cut up, yet it still had the strength to kill anyone. Rick quickly took the bicycle and went to his house. But even after checking very carefully, he could not find his wife and his child. Seeing this, Rick broke down from inside and started crying. But now there was no point in staying there. As he was leaving, suddenly a boy attacked him from behind and knocked him unconscious. When Rick opened his eyes again, he found himself tied to a bed and a man named Morgan was sitting beside him. Morgan asked him urgently, "Tell me quickly, is there any bite mark or scratch on your body?" Rick replied that there was nothing like that on his body. The injury he had was from an accident because he was a police officer. Hearing this, Morgan freed him. After that, Morgan invited Rick for dinner. When Rick tried to go outside to look around, Morgan stopped him. Rick said, "I don't understand what is happening here, and where have all the people gone? When I woke up this morning after many days, the hospital and the entire city were in this condition." Then Morgan told him that most of the world's population has been wiped out, and the remaining people are somehow surviving here and there. These people who look like zombies are called walkers. If they bite someone once, that person also turns into a walker after some time. These walkers are attracted to light and sound. To kill them, you have to attack their head. Otherwise, no matter how much you hit their body, they don't die. Rick was shocked to hear all this. The next day, Rick told Morgan, "I think my wife and my son are still alive because all their clothes are missing from the house, and there's a lot of other stuff that should be here but isn't." Morgan replied, "I think your wife might be at the refugee center in Atlanta. Many people are staying there, and they have all kinds of food and supplies." Hearing this, Rick decided that he would go to Atlanta to find his wife. The next day, Rick wore his police uniform and went to the police station, where he took many guns for his safety. He also asked Morgan to come with him, but Morgan said, "I can't go with you because my son is still small and doesn't know how to use a gun. The place where we are right now is the safest for us." Hearing this, Rick gave him a walkie-talkie and said, "Stay in contact with me." At the station, Rick found his fellow police officer who had now turned into a zombie. Rick shot and killed him. After that, he sat in a car and headed towards Atlanta. Meanwhile, back at the house, Morgan was looking at some pictures of his wife. Actually, Morgan's wife had also turned into a zombie. Today, Morgan decided that he would kill his zombie wife and free her from this life, but he could not do it. He could not bring himself to kill his own wife with his own hands. On the other side, we see Rick trying to make contact with someone through the radio, and suddenly he manages to connect with a survivor group. This group was hiding outside Atlanta, and it was the same group in which Rick's wife Lori and his son Carl were living. None of them knew that Rick was on the other side. Before they could learn anything, the signal got cut. With Lori was her friend and former police officer Shane, who liked Lori. Both of them were slowly getting into a relationship because Lori had also started thinking that Rick was probably dead. Meanwhile, Rick's car ran out of fuel, so he went to a nearby house to get fuel. But the couple living there had shot themselves. Rick found a horse there, so he continued his journey on horseback. After traveling for some time, when he reached Atlanta, he saw that the city was completely deserted. There was no noise of any kind. As he went further inside, he encountered some zombies, but he kept moving forward. Suddenly, he saw a helicopter flying overhead. Rick started chasing it, thinking that it might lead him to other people. But as he moved ahead, he saw a huge herd of zombies on the road. Seeing them, Rick tried to escape by running here and there. But there were so many zombies that they surrounded him from all sides. They pulled him down from the horse, and all his guns were left behind. Rick quickly crawled under a tank, but even there he was in danger. Somehow, he managed to save his life and got inside the tank. Inside the tank, there was a dead army officer. Rick took his gun, but suddenly the army officer, who had now become a zombie, woke up. In a panic, Rick shot and killed him with the same gun. He then closed the tank from above. But now what could he do? There were only zombies all around him, desperately trying to kill him. At that moment, Rick heard a girl's voice on the radio inside the tank. She said, "I can see you. I'm just a short distance away from you. This is the right time. Come to me, because the zombies are a little busy right now." Hearing this, Rick did exactly that. He came out of the tank, fought through the zombies, and somehow reached the boy. The boy quickly took Rick to the top of a building where the zombies could not reach them. There, the boy told Rick his name was Glenn. After that, they reached another building that had a store. There, they met some other people who were Glenn's companions. These people had come there in search of supplies. Suddenly, they heard the sound of gunshots from above. When they went upstairs, they saw a man named Merle shooting and killing zombies. Another man named T-Dog went to stop him because he was wasting bullets unnecessarily. But Merle didn't listen and started attacking them instead. Then Rick stepped forward, overpowered Merle, and handcuffed him to a pipe. A man named Morales told Rick that there was no survivor camp in Atlanta. All the survivors were living in small groups here and there. They wanted to escape through the basement of the building, but there were many zombies in the basement. No matter how carefully they moved, the zombies would smell them. Then Rick got an idea. They brought a dead zombie inside, and Rick and Glenn smeared its body parts and blood on themselves so that the zombies would not smell them and would think they were also one of them. They planned to get a vehicle from outside, put everyone in it, and escape towards the hills. Rick also gave the key to Merle's handcuffs to T-Dog so he could free himself too. When the two went outside, their plan slowly started working. Meanwhile, T-Dog was trying to contact Laurie's survivor group on the radio to ask for help, but they clearly refused because they could not come there. Everything was going fine when it suddenly started raining. Slowly, all the zombies began to notice them. Seeing this, both of them started attacking the zombies and ran away, but the zombies were right behind them. They found a truck and escaped in it. Now they had to rescue the others. On the way, they found a sports car. Rick turned on its horn and gave it to Glenn, saying that due to the noise, all the zombies would come towards you. After that, he himself took another truck and left. Actually, Rick's plan was that hearing the horn, all the zombies would move towards the sports car. Taking advantage of this, he would go from the other side, put everyone in his truck, and take them away. Meanwhile, the others started coming down the building, but Merle was still handcuffed. When T-Dog tried to free him, the key accidentally fell into a nearby pipe, and there was no other way to save Merle. Seeing this, T-Dog left him there and ran away. Poor Merle could only scream. Rick quickly went from the back route, put everyone in his truck, and escaped. Glenn also got out. Only Merle was left in the building. Zombies had started approaching him and his hands were still handcuffed. The group finally reached Laurie's camp. Rick was extremely happy to see his family. He had no idea that his family was there. Carl and Laurie were also overjoyed to meet Rick. At night, when everyone was sitting together, Rick thanked Shane for taking care of his family for so long. It was also revealed that Shane and Rick were very good friends because before the outbreak, both worked in the same police department. The others said that Merle had probably died. When his brother finds out, he will go crazy. Right now, he had gone hunting and had no idea about this. The next morning, when Rick woke up, he saw that the people there were very nice. A woman had already washed and ironed his clothes before he woke up. Rick went to talk to Glenn, but suddenly they heard Carl screaming. Everyone ran to the place and saw a zombie eating a deer that someone had hunted. They quickly killed the zombie and cut off its head. Then, a man named Daryl arrived. He was Merle's brother and had hunted that deer. He was angry because a zombie had eaten his kill. Daryl came near the camp calling out for his brother Merle, but he could not find him anywhere. Rick told him that Merle was trapped in Atlanta. They didn't know whether he was alive or dead. They had handcuffed him because he was becoming a danger to the group. Daryl said, "So you left him there to die?" When Rick said yes, Daryl got furious and tried to attack Rick, but everyone stopped him. Daryl decided to go to Atlanta alone to save his brother. Rick told him there was no need to go alone and that they would also go with him to save Merle. Laurie tried to stop Rick, saying he had just arrived and was leaving again. Rick replied that he did not want anyone to die of thirst or hunger because of his handcuffs. He wanted to save him and repay his debt. Also, his bag of guns was left near a tank by that building, and they would need those guns for safety later. Rick then went to an old man named Dale and took a cutter from him to cut Merle's handcuffs. Now these 4 people, Rick, Daryl, Glenn, and T-Dog, left for Atlanta to rescue Merle. On the other side, when Carl was with Shane, Lori came and sent Carl back to the camp. Shane asked Lori why she was not talking to him properly anymore. Lori said, "Whatever happened between us, forget it now, because my husband has returned." Saying this, Lori left. Hearing these words from Lori's mouth, Shane was heartbroken from inside. While the women were washing clothes, a man named Ed came and started talking very rudely to his wife Carol. When the other women tried to stop him, Ed started beating Carol. Shane saw this and, in anger, beat Ed very badly. He told Ed that even if she is your wife, learn to talk to her with respect. Even after all this, Carol started crying seeing Ed's condition. Meanwhile, the group reached Atlanta, and after struggling a lot to avoid zombies, finally reached the rooftop of the building. But when they looked, Merle was not there. Instead, they found a hacksaw and Merle's severed hand. This clearly meant that Merle had cut off his own hand to save his life and escaped. Seeing this, Daryl became extremely angry and tried to attack T-Dog, but Rick stopped him. Daryl put Merle's hand in his bag and they followed the trail of blood downstairs. There, they realized that Merle had already left the building. On the other side, Dale saw a man named Jim digging graves for no reason. He asked Jim about it, but Jim did not answer and kept digging. Dale told everyone about this. Shane and the others went to Jim and asked him. Jim said, "I know that in the coming days we are all going to die, so I am digging graves for everyone in advance." Shane told him to stop doing useless things as it was scaring the children and others, but Jim did not stop. Because of this, Shane started beating him. The group made a plan to retrieve the bag of guns from near the tank, but there were many zombies there. They decided that Daryl and Glenn would go to get the bag while Rick and T-Dog waited on the other side. Daryl and Glenn left to get the bag. Glenn managed to reach the tank while avoiding zombies and found the bag. While Daryl was standing, a boy came in front of him and started screaming. Daryl tried to silence him by hitting him because his screaming was attracting many zombies. But then his companions arrived and started attacking Daryl. At that moment, Glenn also arrived. They caught Glenn and took him away in their car. Daryl tried hard but could not stop them because many zombies had also come outside. Just then, Rick and T-Dog arrived. They took the boy and Glenn inside the building. Inside, they learned that the boy's name was Miguel. Daryl asked him where his brother Merle was. Miguel said he did not know any man named Merle. Daryl told Rick that now they had guns and should return to the camp. But Rick said, "I cannot leave without Glenn. He saved my life when I had no one with me. We have to save him at any cost." Then Rick asked Miguel about his boss. Miguel told him the location. They went there and met Guillermo, Miguel's boss. Guillermo had many people with him. Glenn was brought there in very bad condition. Rick told Guillermo to take his man and return our man. Guillermo said he would return Glenn, but on one condition. They had to give them the bag of guns. Rick clearly refused, and they returned to their building. They decided that if Guillermo did not return Glenn, they would kill him and all his companions. They went back to Guillermo, but he was still stubborn. Just as a fight was about to start, an old woman came and told Rick not to kill Guillermo because he was very important to them. She took Rick to a place where many elderly people were living. Guillermo was the only one taking care of them, and he wanted the guns to increase security for this place. Seeing this, Rick felt that Guillermo was a good man. Out of humanity, he gave him half of the guns and ammunition from his bag. When they returned to their van to go back to the camp, the van was missing. They thought Merle must have taken it. Now they started walking back to the camp on foot. Soon it became night. While everyone was having dinner, a zombie attacked Ed, who was lying there. Then it bit another girl named Amy. By now, many zombies had arrived. Rick's group also reached and started killing the zombies. The zombies had killed many people in the camp. Still, they fought and managed to kill all the zombies. Jim said, "I already knew everyone was going to die. That's why I had dug the graves in advance." Amy died in her sister Andrea's arms. Andrea cried a lot over her sister's death. The next morning, Rick left a message for Morgan, saying that if Morgan was listening, please do not come to Atlanta, as it is not safe at all. The place where they were was on a hill near Atlanta, but even this place no longer felt safe. Andrea was still sitting beside Amy's body. She had spent the entire night like this. Lori came to her and tried to console her. Daryl and the others were burning the bodies of the zombies. Daryl also wanted to burn the bodies of the camp members, but Glenn stopped him, saying these were their people and they should bury them. While Jim was working, a woman named Jackie saw blood coming from his body and asked if a zombie had bitten him. Jim said it was just a small scratch. Jackie asked him to show the mark. Jim requested her not to tell anyone, but Jackie told everyone that something was wrong with Jim. When Daryl checked, there was indeed a zombie bite mark on his body. This was a big problem for everyone. But Rick stopped them all from killing Jim. He said, "I think we should go to the CDC, which is a very safe place. We cannot stay here with zombies anymore because there's constant danger. The CDC is only 32 miles from here." Shane suggested going to the army base, but Rick said there would already be many people there, and more people meant more danger. According to him, the CDC was the safest option. Daryl tried to kill Jim, but Rick stopped him and said they would not kill any group member until he turned into a zombie while still conscious. Later, while Daryl was killing the infected camp members, Carol came to him, took the axe, and killed Ed with her own hands because Ed had always troubled her while he was alive. Andrea had not moved from Amy's body and kept crying. Then Amy started turning into a zombie. Andrea tried to talk to her. Everyone moved forward to kill her, but before they could, Andrea herself shot and killed her, knowing that she was no longer the same Amy. After that, they buried all the dead camp members. Inside the van, Jim's condition was getting worse. When Rick went to Jim, Jim said he could not continue anymore. He felt he would turn into a zombie soon, so it would be better if they left him there. Although Rick did not want to, he had to agree on Jim's repeated requests. They left him near a tree, and one by one, everyone said goodbye to him and left. After that, the scene shifts, and we see a doctor named Jenner. He said that 194 days had passed since the virus started, and 63 days ago, it had taken over the whole world. He wore a suit and entered his lab, took out a sample labeled TS19, and was experimenting on it. Suddenly, he accidentally spilled some liquid on a sample. Immediately, loud alarms started ringing. He quickly went into a decontamination chamber and removed his suit so that no chemical reaction would occur. He then realized that due to the spilled liquid, a full decontamination process had started in the entire system, and all his samples were ruined. Jenner became very disappointed. While recording a video, he said that all the hard work he had done was completely wasted. He did not think there was any point in living anymore. He planned to end his life, but wanted to drink alcohol to his heart's content first. When the group reached the CDC area, they were shocked by the scene. There were many corpses lying around with flies and mosquitoes buzzing over them. They reached the main CDC building, which was completely sealed. This was the same building where Jenner was staying. Jenner saw them through his cameras but did not open the shutter. Shane said they should leave as they cannot go inside, but Rick noticed the camera moving and believed someone was watching them. In anger, he started kicking the shutter. The noise started attracting zombies. Rick kept trying to talk to Jenner. Everyone was surprised to see Rick acting like a madman. Rick shouted that if Jenner did not open the shutter, he would be responsible for the death of all the women and children. Just as they were about to leave, Jenner opened the shutter. After that, a flashback showed the time when the outbreak was spreading. Military personnel were killing everyone in the hospital without checking if they were infected or not. Shane quickly went to his friend Rick, who was in a coma. He tried to talk to him, but Rick did not move. Suddenly, the electricity went out and all machines stopped. When Shane checked, Rick was not breathing. He thought he was dead. He wanted to save him, but could not do anything, so he left him there. Later, he must have told Lori that Rick had died. That is how Rick was left alone in the hospital. Back in the present, when the group entered the building, they met Dr. Jenner. He asked if any of them were infected. Rick said no. Jenner said he would still test all of them. He asked why they had come there. Rick replied that they were looking for a safe place. Jenner took them inside, showed him his lab, and took blood samples from everyone one by one. After checking, he confirmed that none of them were infected. Jenner gave them a lot of food. They were very happy because they were eating so much food after a long time. Rick went to Jenner and thanked him, saying that if he hadn't let them in, they didn't know where they would have ended up. In the living area, while Lori was taking a book from the library, a drunk Shane came to her. He said he knew that she was only talking to him for her own needs, and now that her work was done, she had shown her true colors. Lori said, "Look at yourself. You lied to me that Rick was dead." Shane replied that when he went to save Rick in the hospital, Rick was not breathing. Maybe because of the gunfire outside, he did not check properly. Lori said, "Okay, but now forget whatever happened between us." But Shane was not ready to accept this. He said they could start their relationship again. Lori tried to explain, but Shane did not listen and tried to force himself on her. Lori pushed him away and Shane left. Seeing all of this happen, Lori cried a lot. The next day, Jenner took them to the control room and showed them the brain scan of his subject, TS-19, who was an infected person who had allowed the CDC to record his brain scan. Jenner explained that after the experiment, the blood vessels in his brain burst and blood started spreading outside the vessels. When he died, all the vessels turned black. Jenner told them that he had tried very hard to understand this disease, but could not figure out what it was. Other scientists were also researching it, but he had lost contact with them. Daryl asked about the countdown. Jenner explained that when the countdown reached 0, the generator's fuel would run out and the entire system would decontaminate. That means the lab would explode and all the infected blood samples would burn to ashes. Soon, the lights started turning off. Jenner told them the building was shutting itself down. In half an hour, the entire building would decontaminate, and they did not have fuel to stop the process. Alarms started ringing. Rick told everyone to leave, but before they could, Jenner locked them in the control room. He said there was no point in escaping because they would die outside anyway. The world was completely destroyed. He had chosen a good way for all of them. They would all die with the building. They tried to open the door with their guns and axes. Jenner explained that the doors were so strong that even a rocket launcher could not break them. Rick angrily asked if he was crazy and why he hadn't left earlier. Jenner replied that he didn't leave because TS-19 was his wife. When she became infected, he promised her that he would cure her. He put in all his effort but could not save her, so now there was no point in living. They begged him to let them go, even if he wanted to stay. Jenner then unlocked the control room door, but said they could come out of the control room but would not be able to leave the building. Everyone ran towards the exit, but Jackie did not want to leave. She wanted to stay with Jenner because she did not want to die a horrible death like Jim and Amy. Andrea also decided to stay at the CDC, and Dale wanted to stay with her. While trying to escape, all the doors were locked. They tried everything, even shooting at the glass, but nothing happened. Then, Carol gave Rick a hand grenade and said she had found it in his pants while washing them. Rick used the grenade and blew up the glass. Inside, Dale told Andrea that he would stay with her until she left, but Andrea did not want Dale to stay and die with her. Outside, the group was shooting zombies and running towards the van when they saw Andrea and Dale coming towards them after changing their minds. Only 10 seconds were left. Inside, Jenner and Jackie were holding hands and counting the final seconds. Dale and Andrea quickly hid. In the blink of an eye, the CDC building exploded. After that, Dale and Andrea also got into the van. The group took the van and vehicles and left from there. They had escaped, but the troubles awaiting them ahead were even more dangerous, about which none of them had any idea. Friends, this is where Season 1 of The Walking Dead ends. If you want the next season, please type next part in the comments. If you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel so that you get notified about the next video first. See you in a new interesting video. Until then, stay happy and take care of yourself.